Alrighty, looks like we're rolling here. Hello everyone from It's Just Shaving. Welcome to my my shave den, also known as our spare bedroom or spare bathroom. So today is just a lather video. I don't think anyone has done a sample lather out of one of these kind of small sample tubes. Today's is Barrister and Man Latha, I believe is how you pronounce it. Latha Taiga. So it is balsam, pine, and cedar, very woodsy, tree-related scent. Out here in Colorado, we get a lot of woods and a lot of tree line here at the base of the mountain, so to speak. It's kind of rainy today, so I figured this is a good scent to use for the demonstration. So first things first, I have a brush that's soaking in my brush soaker, also known as the mugs we got before we got married. Yep, so we have the PAA Crown King brush. It's just a synthetic. I don't own any boar brushes or badgers or anything. Everything I have is synthetic. So it's soaking wet right now, and so I went ahead and just dumped the water out. I'll flick it a couple times in the sink just to get the major water out. And now comes the fun part. So getting your soap out of here, lathering it with the brush, is pretty awkward and weird because the brush is so much bigger, so you can't really load the brush that well, and it's weird. Believe me, I've tried it. It just doesn't work for me. So what I've done is I take the sample, and I've got an old cheese knife. I learned this trick from a YouTube video. I don't remember who it was. I don't think it's somebody in the group, but it's a great little trick. You can probably use any just flat-bladed butter knife. I don't know if it's going to focus. Just any flat blade. It's not sharp or anything. It's just butter knife. Yeah, so I just take the knife and just scrape a little bit of a sample out of the tin, maybe about that much. And this is a fairly medium to hard soap. It's not a cream, but it's not, super tightly packed or anything. So just take that and drop it in my little bowl or your scuttle or whatever you're using. And then I just take it, it's going to be hard to see. Let me see if I can do that. There you go. And I just mash it around with my thumb. Just kind of mash this all down in there. Hopefully you can see how that's working. It's good scent, nice and woodsy. It smells like trees. So yeah, just kind of get it, just mash it down like that. Kind of spread it around a little bit. So just kind of a thin layer. Now with this, with a sample, at least as far as, I'll wait for the water. With the samples, as far as I've been able to tell, you can't really get a good bloom on anything if you're somebody who likes to bloom your soaps like I do. So that's kind of the one drawback, so to speak, but you still get a good, really solid lather out of it and everything. So now that that's just pressed into the bowl like that, I'll just take the brush and just swirl it around like we would, just like normal. So it's kind of a combo of like you would lather it out of your puck for a full-size soap, but it's just already starting to lather. And this bowl is completely smooth on the inside. It doesn't have any ridges or any indentations that would kind of help the lather whip up, so to speak. I'll try to keep this in view. But I still get a decent lather out of it. For me, as long as you have absolute basic 101 mechanics of lathering down, that extra 5% is really due to the soap you're using and how good it is, the kind of ingredients it is. And people like John and Steven can speak to that more so as far as what ingredients do what. But like John's soaps, I've lathered up, the group soap, the cake soap, the fresh roast, the coffee scented one. Both of them smell amazing, and they lather up like champs. So Sterling, I know, Sterling Soap Company is another one. I have Executive Man that I love. The scent's great and it lathers beautifully. The fabulous Mr. Dave Card sent me the Barristers and Man. What's it? I don't know. It's called Fern, and it's kind of the reserve because Dave thinks I'm special. So But that sucker, oh my gosh, it smells really good. I'm getting new into the woodsy and ferny kind of, those kind of scents, but that sucker performs so well. So I can tell, I think I want a little bit more lather in this. It's a little more sudsy than I particularly like myself. So just the typical trick of cupping your hand, getting a few drops of water in it. Just a few. And then just let them drizzle in. And I found unless you really load it with water, you know, if you kind of measure your water out like that to add to the lather, you're not going to kill it. You're not going to thin it out to where you have to start over or anything. If others have had experiences not like that and need to correct that, that's fine. I'm open to that. But in my experience, that has not yet been the case. So we're getting a pretty good lather out of this. It's smelling good. With the bathroom door shut like this, it's really making the whole room smell like my soap. In a good way. I like powerful smells in general. I think my sniffer is a little underperforming. I'm a musician, so I'll say that what should have been happening in my nose is now happening in my ears. So I'll live with a little bit of a duller sense of smell. So yeah, this sucker is kind of lathering up really well. It's not, you know, it's not the dragon shave best lather I've ever had, but I know that this one, pretty much anything Barrister's and Man I've ever used, but even if it's not the Reserve, you know, super nice line, they always lather up really well. So, sorry, my lights are in a weird position. So that's kind of what we're looking at there. Peaks up nice and easy. You know, I might decide to add a little bit of water and whip it back up after a pass. I'm a lot slower with shaving with the Shavat or Shavat, depending on how people say it. So it just takes me a little longer. This is the Sanguine R5, little quick review of that. Really nice razor. I have a Gillette Nasset, whatever you call them, blades in it. Performs pretty well. So with that Shavat and that kind of soap, the lather dries out a little bit quicker, and I'm sure it's the Colorado kind of climate that we're in. I know Landon can attest to that, probably being in Castle Rock. Like it dries out real quick, and so especially when you're on that learning curve with the Shavat, it doesn't take a whole lot of time for that sucker to dry out. So I just take the brush, dip it in my little sink full of water, and just kind of brush some water back in the lather to slick it right back up. And if it's a soap worth using, you know, that doesn't kill the lather. It brings some of that slickness back and the performance back that you're going to miss when it dries out. And it's pretty easy. So using a sample as opposed to a full-size puck really isn't all that different. Just get yourself a cheese knife or some, you know, kind of dull, flat-bladed thing, and just whip it up right in your skull. And I don't take a ton of time to lather. I know some guys really dig it, and that's great. I totally see the joy in that. But when I'm just using an old mixing bowl, you know, it's not a scuttle per se. You know, just kind of do what I need to do to get the job done. And once you lather enough, you know what it's supposed to look like, and what it's supposed to feel like, and what it's supposed to smell like. So, yeah, so that's all it is. I'm going to throw this on, do a quick shave. Not a quick shave because I'm using my Shavat today. But it's my day off. I don't need to be quick today, and that's fine. So anyway, I hope that helps. If anybody's got samples they're looking at buying, or if you have samples and haven't really gotten a good lather off of it, especially if you're kind of newer to this like I am. I've only been wet shaving since pretty much July of 2017. So this group and the Shavat World group and everyone that's in the group, their YouTube channels have been very useful. I learned a lot just Googling and YouTubing as much as I could. Lee Chavez in particular was a really big help when I was getting started, especially with DE shaving, because I started with a Shavat, which is apparently really weird to do, really hard to do. But yeah, just check out the guys in the group. They've got tons of good resources. You know, this group has got some great resources too. Just all these videos that we're kind of uploading one by one, day by day. I'm finding these to be really helpful too. You know, no matter how long you've been doing it, you think you have everything down pat, and then you watch somebody's video and go, oh, that's a new tip for skin stretching or whatever. You know, like you might be able to see it. I have a very sensitive neck area, and so I'm always looking for ways to make that a little easier. So, yeah. So I hope that helps, guys. 10 minutes for a lather video. Check that out. Let's cut that in half next time, huh? All right, have a good one, guys. Hope your day isn't quite as rainy as mine. Have a great shave. We'll see you later.